And all the while, like, paid no attention. Like, directly across the street. I'm almost positive it was them. Like, it was just too good to be true. And then I go back home, or whatever, and I get in my house. I'm there for about 10 minutes. I guess the police had trailed me or something because they knock on my door. Yeah, and my mom, she comes to the door and opens it, and she's confused. She doesn't know why the police are at our house. And she's talking to the police. I'm in the back, so I'm not really able to hear too much of what they're saying. But she calls me up to the front, and the officer is like, yeah, we just searched your son. We didn't find anything on him, but it's just suspicious that he was walking with a book bag around this time, around the area where we just got reports of eggs being thrown. And I'm like, I'm just speechless. I'm just sitting there like, I didn't throw any eggs, Mom, I swear. And she's like, it's okay, you can go back now. And I go back, and I don't hear the rest of the transaction between her and the police officer. And then she closes the door, and she comes back. She was like, the police do anything to you? I guess they hadn't told her. But I'm like, yeah, they searched me, took everything on my book bag or whatever. She's like, don't let them do that to you ever again, especially if you know you're not doing nothing. And then she's like, wait, you weren't doing it? I'm like, no, I'm not doing nothing. And she's like, okay, cool. And we kind of just dropped it from there. My dad, he's like a big activist kind of person, so he comes home and he's just like furious with the whole situation. My son didn't do blah, blah, blah. And he's going on for hours, like literally hours, just yelling mad about the situation. And now being older and looking back at it, it's like, I see where he's coming from. Like, who knows what could have happened to me over something I had nothing to do with. And these are the situations that people are faced with every day.
All right, guys. So we're going to go to Twitter, and a hashtag that's really trending right now is hashtag criming while white. And there's some interesting stuff here.
I saw one earlier. Check this out. Wesley Snipes served 3 years for tax evasion. Nicolas Cage currently owes the IRS $14 million and is filming National Treasure 3. Hashtag criming while white.
The fudge, man. Come on.
I don't know how true that is, but I mean, if it is, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
The one I see here, at 13, I stole a car with my friends and drove it 2 weeks before we got busted. Only one charge was black.
Come on, cuz.
Was Macklemore winning the Grammy over Kendrick criming while white? Biggest robbery I saw this year. That shit is funny as fuck.
Oh, wow. Jacob Harold says, age 17, I bought gas but forgot to pay. An hour later, I came back and they said they told the cops 2 black men did it. Hashtag criming while white.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Okay, and then there are the people who don't get the point. One of the people put criming while white and then took a picture from Fox News, the best source for all your news, where it says, crime in America. Police killings of blacks are down 70% in the last 50 years. In 2012, 123 black people were killed by police with a gun, but in 2012, 326 white people were killed by police with a gun. Now, statistics almost never tell the complete truth, but that's not even the point. The point is, how many of those cops that killed black people were convicted for killing those black people compared to how many of those cops were convicted for killing the white people?
That's a good point.
If you're gonna talk about statistics.
Yeah.
Cause right.
Yeah, because the death is the big deal. Human life, that's important. But the fact that nothing happened because of it, there was no indictment, there was no charges, anything like that, that's why everyone's angry.
Like, seriously, how to get away with murder. Like, just be the feds.
Yeah, it seems like people in Ferguson and New York are going to have to learn how to get away with protesting. Because apparently that's something you need to get away with nowadays, since people are getting arrested for it, even though in many cases it's peaceful. So that brings us to the question, what's better, peaceful or violent protesting? Because if you're going to get arrested either way, and peaceful protesting hasn't seemed to be making that big of an effect up to this point, then, you know,
what do you do?
Yeah.
Because you look at the news and you're like, why are they looting stores? Stop. You know, don't do that. But what else can you do? Like, when you're doing the quiet stuff, no one's going to pay attention to that. It looks nice, but that's not going to change anything. So when you start a fuss, people are looking at you, but now they're looking down at you for messing stuff up.
Yeah.
Rioting is the language of the unheard.
I feel mixed on this. Like, I'm geared towards peaceful, I guess, because violence only begets more violence. You know, like, you'd end up killing people in order to stop killers from killing people.
Yeah.
But it just ends up in a never-ending cycle of the kill stoppers becoming killers.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, and then with like peaceful, like Ant said, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like I think what these what protests take are strategic plans, like plans of action, long-term things. And that's what I think is the main difference between now versus the civil rights movements of the 60s. For example, like I think of the bus boycotts and things like that, you know? This was like a plan of action saying, okay, we as a people, we're not going to use the public transportation system because they're not giving us fair rights. We can't even sit on the front of the bus without being told that we can't. And if we don't, then we're getting thrown off the bus forcibly. So we're just going to all carpool and we're going to walk together. And as a result, not only will we get results from them, but we'll be closer as a people. So it's win-win. You know, and that's like long-term goal, long-term results and everything. And in the end, they got what they wanted. And I think the thing now, like, for example, how people making a big thing about, you know, Black Friday. You know, like the protest, the boycott against Black Friday. Mm-hmm. Like, people, they didn't really feed into it because they're probably thinking, what's the point? What is it going to do? Like, logically speaking, it's one day of shopping and the stuff's on sale anyway. So it's not going to make much of a dent. But it's a start, you know, but at the same time, that would have to be a part of something more prolonged. You know, like, for example, what if we said we're only going to shop at Black-owned businesses? That way we're putting more money in our pocket. You know, we're making ourselves stronger, you know, like as a people, and making our presence heard. You know, I honestly, I don't know. I think it's just, nowadays we always expect things to happen right then, right there.
Yeah.
You know, like we're feeding off of like hundreds of years of like, you know, racial separation and things like that. And now it's become indoctrinated in our minds, like, you know, certain things are the way that they are. And in order to change that, we got to change our mind state. You can't expect things to just happen like day into night. Slavery didn't change day into night, you know? Neither did, you know, segregation, like, shoot, gay rights, for example, immigration laws, things of that nature, you know?
But apparently Ebola did. Because that just up and disappeared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that goes into like how they say America is always trying to distract us. Like they bring up little things.
And you
to
don't
get our
want to
minds
believe
off.
that. Like you don't want to believe it. It's like, because it seems
Yeah.
so stupid, and then you see movies where the government is censoring stuff and trying to distract you with stuff, and you just like, oh, that's never gonna happen. But what happened to Ebola? Like ever since the Mike Brown thing, you haven't heard anything about any Africa having Ebola. You haven't heard about any of the Ebola cases in the U.S. And that's just one example.
Yeah, it's just like if we keep getting distracted, then it's just like Mike said. You know, the sustained efforts aren't gonna happen because we've forgotten about the issue already. So how can we sustain something that's not even in our mind anymore?
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like these, especially the Eric Garner one, it's so blatantly obvious that the judicial system is messed up beyond belief. Like, I'm to the point where I believe that there's literally someone in there with a position of power actively trying to, like, cause civil unrest and turn this into a whole civil war once again and turn us again, and then divide and conquer to where either China or Japan or somebody else of a major power is going to take over and become the new world power to where the U.S. is just gone.
Yeah, like my active imagination came up with like this whole scenario of like the United States getting into a civil war between black people and white people, and then some foreign power taking advantage of our current situation and our disarray and coming to attack us. I really feel like the world, like, and if there was to ever be a World War III, we couldn't keep our hands off of nukes. Exactly. And then the world's gonna look like Fallout, and I'm gonna have to learn how to survive with the rats and things of that nature.
And we're joking about conspiracy theories and all this stuff, but
you never know.
You never
like this stuff is so crazy.
Like it's just, it's so blatant, and everything seems like common sense. A guy who is doing nothing or not doing anything warranted getting choked, he dies, and the cop who did it is facing nothing. Like
when something is that obvious on video. And then Barack Obama has, brought into, like, he's enacted body cameras for these cops. But what good is that going to do if it's caught on tape and nothing is done about it, even though it's so blatantly obvious right in front of your face? Like, it makes no sense.
Oh boy, got killed on video.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, we mentioned that the cameraman is in jail. Well, I don't know if he's in jail. The cameraman got arrested. And the police officer is free. Nothing happened to him. Not a single cuff. The person who videotaped, is that even illegal? Yeah. That brings me to another story.
I'm afraid to be in that situation. Like, what do you do if you're in the crowd and you see a man get choked out? Like, do you run up and hit the cop?
I'm pretty much like 100% sure these body cameras that President Obama has enacted are just for a feeling of comfort, so people would quote unquote shut up about it, because they're not going to use them as credible sources. I'm definitely sure about that.
I agree with you, but that would have only worked if this case had went the way it should have. Because now everyone's like, well, why the fuck do we need body cameras if they can still get away with it? If this had gone correctly, then it would have been like, okay, well, they're getting body cameras now. I guess there'll be proof from now on.
It's like, how innocent do we have to be? Like, how little of nothing do we have to have done? That man did not touch a single police officer. I mean, yeah, they can say he was resisting arrest, but he didn't do anything to be arrested for. Like,
and the correct answer to your question is we have to stop being black. I don't mean dress properly and go to college and get an education and all that fun stuff. No, we just have to stop being black.
We need to hear your feedback about this, because this type of thing, it needs the collective mind of all people in general, like anybody who believes in the side of right. And unless there's like some hidden Martin Luther King Jr. who can unite the masses again, like in the days of old, we just need to come together, because this is getting out of hand, and the severity of the situation, I'm not even sure if it's actually seen yet. It's like we're getting that there's something wrong with the judicial system, but I don't know if like the chain of effects that could happen is really being processed in our minds. So it's like, before it gets out of hand, what can we do? That is the question we propose to you today.
This whole video is the catalyst to start this discussion. So everyone just, comment down in the comment section your thoughts on this, your thoughts on any of the trials. If you know a trial or a case that we don't know, that's not publicly, a wide known thing, comment it down there. We'll read it. If you'd like, we'll make a part 2 to this. And we just want this to be a big open discussion for everybody. And try and limit the trolling and the negative comments down there. Yes. If so, you will be blocked immediately, because this is something important.
We won't block you if you disagree with our opinion on the matter. It's like, just don't be ignorant about it.
Don't just be ignorant for attention, because nobody likes that. So
love you guys.
Like and subscribe, all that jazz.
It was on camera.
Hey guys, welcome to Sleeping Class. Today we got something special, a little special sauce. This is Sunset Overdrive.